Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay guys, we will presentation about the learner analysis based on cognitive, personality, social, and physical in ADDIE model with member of groups. I am Nurla Septiana, Ainun Nawafila, and then Kania Prasiwi Putri. The first learner is cognitive, who the teacher of elementary school. So, guru dari salah satu dari kita itu kita interview or wawancara untuk memberikan informasi terkait pembelajaran yang ada di kelas. Learner young learner with many characteristics are different. Every child has different talents, abilities, skills to provide basic education in accordance with child development. Teachers need to understand children's development in children's lives and understand how to learn elementary school age children. And then, in teacher who is teaching in elementary school is a foundation for continuing learning to next level. The importance of learning in elementary school must require consideration from various parties of prospective students with education in elementary schools. Jadi sangat dipentingkan atau sangat penting sekali ketika guru itu mempelajari karakter siswa. So, each student has different characters. Yang sudah saya sebutkan tadi dari awal. So, that the same treatment of all students will result in less than optimal in the learning process. Motivations. In opinion, Littlewood focus on the motivation to learn English in two aspects. The first is namely the need for communication in foreign language, and the second, attitude towards the foreign language community. Analysis from my teacher. The teacher about cognitive characteristics. The thinking skills of children in today's life are demanded and must allow them to apply PBL or project-based learning. Learner which is assumed to the method in the approach of the child who must start exploring the world to find answer the question project work in the form of their own text. During the first grade, from the mother of the English teacher in elementary school, most of the children, the first is starting to need a teacher who can provide visible direction in certain methods. Okay, actually or sebenarnya banyak poin yang didapat dari pembelajaran kognitif ini. Nah, poinnya tersebut adalah nomor 1 itu memulai atau menyediakan materi pembelajaran. Yang kedua, develop skills with reasoning and logical thinking. Kalian tahu logical thinking? Logical thinking skills are important because they can assist in reasoning through important decisions, solving problems, and generating creative ideas. The third is try to think things through before making a decision in particular PBL or PBL. Jadi guru dengan pembelajaran kognitif ini dapat diselesaikan atau dapat mencantumkan metode PBL yang sudah dipelajari kemarin. Yang sudah kita pelajari kemarin. Okay, fourth, learning from what they hear and read, not just from what they see, and two children cannot learn just by listening to commands. Wife, it's hard to make choice because you want to do everything at once. It's hard to make a decision. They can read some say words or what they see often and can be read without being heard. And pronounce other words can read some say words. What they see often can be read in a doubly and pronounce other words. 7. Start to understand time better. Understand the improvement of time, day, week, month, and season. And then predict what happens next pattern and recognize and create their own pattern. And then count to 100 by 1, 2, 5, and 10. Write and recognize the number 0 to 100, and the words from the number from 1 to 20, and then the last do basic addition and subtraction up to 20. Jadi pembelajaran kognitif ini banyak poin. Yang pertama itu kita dibutuhkan pembelajaran atau materi pembelajaran, bisa menggunakan pembelajaran PBL. Yang kedua, kita itu memberikan ejaan ketika bahasa Inggris A, B, C, dan lain sebagainya. Dan kita itu juga bisa melakukan pembelajaran itu pembelajaran hitung-hitungan dari 0 sampai 100 kita ajarkan dan lain sebagainya. Okay, next.
Okay, next I would like to explain about personality characteristics of young learners. There are children at this age love to play. Characteristics of children aged 7 years is a child who likes to play. The world of children in this world of play, and children learn mostly through the games they do. Play provides opportunities for children to develop speaking and language skills as well as listening skills. Children talk and listen while playing. For this reason, teachers should carry out learning interspersed with games. Teachers need to develop a serious but relaxed teaching models by designing a learning model that allows elements of the game in it. Next is children at this age love to move. Adults can sit for hours, but whereas children cannot sit still for long. Therefore, teachers should design learning models that allow children to move, especially for some children who like to move. Through games, for example, inviting children to learn vocabulary and practicing certain movements such as jumping, imitating animal movement, or other related to their lessons will make children not feel bored in learning and more easily understand the learning materials. Okay, next is children at this age are full of imagination. Young learners will like to imagine things that are not real and sometimes make imaginary friends. In addition, children also like to imagine based on what they see to be developed to be more extraordinary in their minds. The characteristic is important for every child to have because it can build creative and innovative spirit. And then, children like to imitate things. Children at this age like to learn by learning, imitating, and speaking. They love to imitate what other people do. Therefore, both teachers and parents need to pay attention to action or speech because children easily imitate what they hear and what they see. In learning, the teachers can do learning with playing. For example, by inviting children to imitate animal sounds or imitate what the teachers say related to learning. And next is children at this age have a short attention span. At this age, children's attention is easily distracted because their concentration power is still short. These characteristics make them difficult to guide and teach. To teach children, teachers need to use a variety of methods to prevent them from feeling bored. For example, when learning, the teachers does not take too long in giving explanation to students and fills learning by playing games or watching interesting videos if students are starting lose to focus. And then it will be easier for children to understand it. Okay, next is in learning a foreign language, they are happy and excited even though they do not realize what the learning foreign language is for. Children at the age of 7 years are enthusiastic about learning in a foreign language, but not all students are enthusiastic about learning, maybe because each student's interest is different in learning. Students' interest in learning is shown by feeling happy during class, having high enthusiasm, and students feel it's not difficult to do assignments. Every learning process needs the interest of every child, so that the can absorb and understand every material presented by the teacher. However, in reality, students' interests are often erratic and unenthusiastic in participating in the learning process. In such condition, teachers need to design learning activities through play or activities that foster a sense of pleasure and joy and are free from all strict rules to foster children's interest in learning. With the freedom to choose and do activities according their pleasure, children's interest will grow and develop so that they become happy to learn and explore objects in the surrounding environments.
The next is social characteristic of children in the primary grade 7 years old. By entering elementary school, children have developed more complex thinking, acting, and social influence skills. Until now, children are basically egocentric, and their world is their family home and their school. While sitting in a small elementary school class, children begin to be confident but also often have low self esteem. Children's concentration power grows in the large grades of elementary school. They can spend more time on assignment, tasks of their choice, and often they are happy to complete them. The characteristic of elementary school age children are happy to play, happy to move, happy to work in groups, and like to feel or do something directly. Therefore, teachers should develop learning that contains elements of the game, allowing students to move and work or learn in groups, as well as provide opportunities for students to directly involved in learning. In 7 years old, children become somewhat more selective in their choice of friends and likely to have a more permanent best friend. They make friends with other children who can make them compatible and can quickly change if there is a small problem between them. Children perceive participation in groups as fostering a sense of worth. Not being accepted into a group can lead to serious emotional problems. Their friends are more important than ever. The need to be accepted by peers is very high for them. The next is physical characteristic of children in primary grades 7 years old. There are several characteristics of children at elementary school that teachers need to know in order to better know the condition of students, especially at the elementary school. As a teachers, we must be able to apply teaching methods that are in accordance with condition of students. It is very important for an educator to know student characteristic. For elementary school age children, physical development is important because it will affect their daily behavior, including behavior in learning. The physical development posed by each children will affect their perception of themselves and others. Physical development includes changes in the body such as growth of the brain, nervous system, sensory organs, increase in height and weight, hormones, and others, and change in the way individuals use their bodies, as well as change in physical abilities. The size of the child's body is relatively small, changed over the years in elementary school. The weight gain of the child is greater than the length of the body. The legs and arms become longer. The chest and pelvis are larger. At the same time, it is gradually increasing. This increase is due to heredity and training. Physical growth at this time, in addition to providing the ability for children to participate in new activities, can also cause problems and difficulties physically and psychologically for them. There are proportions or body shape of elementary school children who are fat or looking big. Some look sturdy and strong, but some are weak and not muscular. These three body shape will affect their daily behavior and also affect their attitude and psychology. Children who are overweight are usually difficult to move and are often teased by their friends, so that they often feel inferior. Children who are sturdy and strong, they tend to have high self-confidence because they can carry out daily activities well. Children who look weak and not muscular usually become the ridicule of their friends because they are not able to carry out activities like the others. So they are also tend to lack confidence and feel inferior. Thank you for your attention. If you have a question, you can write in the WhatsApp group. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.